Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's that wonderful week between Christmas and New Year's. Don't you just love this week? It's kind of a week where people aren't really serious about what they're doing. We're all on hold. We're going through the motions of going back to work, but we're just waiting out for the new year and to get a fresh start. So I decided to take a little motorcycle ride today. It's a beautiful day here in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm out for a ride. Now, I want to mention that I'm 81 and a half years old. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are you riding a motorcycle at 81? And why are you putting a half on there? It's kind of weird. Well, first of all, I'm riding at 81 because I can. I've taken pretty good care of myself, which has helped me grow into this age physically and mentally, prepared for the most part to do the things I want to do in my life. I've ridden motorcycles all my life. I threw a paper out on a Vespa as a preteen. I bought my first real motorcycle at 1976. It was a Harley Davidson. I didn't know it at the time, but I was too young for testosterone therapy. But now in my later years, I've come to learn that Harleys are a form of testosterone therapy. So why should I give up what I love to do just because I'm old? So the motorcycle I had before the one I'm riding now was a big Yamaha FJR 1300. It was a scary fast motorcycle. It was big and wonderful, just a dream to ride. But you know, as I got older, I started to realize that motorcycle was just a little too big for me, especially at slow speeds, hauling it around town in the traffic. So what it made me realize is that we don't need to surrender to old age and just give up everything we love to do, but we do have to negotiate. And I had to negotiate. I didn't want to get rid of that FJR, but I did. I sold it. And I bought this motorcycle, the 2023 Triumph Bonneville. And I really love this motorcycle. It's the right motorcycle for me right now, and it's plenty fast, believe me. So that's why I'm riding at 81. Now about that half thing, well, you know, when we were young and somebody would ask us how old we are, we'd always say, well, I'm 5.5. We always put the half on there because we desperately wanted to be older, because we saw getting old as a ticket to freedom, to get out from under the oppression of our parents and all of the other rules and regulations, and in some cases school, and start having some fun in life. And something happens around 40 or 50, and we desperately want to be young again. And sometimes we even become ashamed of our age. We don't want to tell people how old we are. That's unfortunate. So what I'm doing with my life right now at 81, I just finished writing a book, and I'm about ready to publish it. Just sharing some of my thoughts about aging. I've also started a nonprofit organization called BreakingAge.org. And I have a weekly newsletter that I write. I publish 2 or 3 times a week, called Breaking Age. Just about my thoughts. Sometimes thoughts I have when I'm riding around on my motorcycle like this. It's thoughts about getting older and how we can change the conversation about aging, and change the conversation into one of not dread and complaints, but one of optimism and enthusiasm and aspiration for still what we want to be when we grow up. And we can still hang on to that. What do you want to be when you grow up, even at age 80? I'm still growing into the person that I want to be, and you can too. So, I want to invite you to subscribe to my newsletter. It's free, and I don't have anything to sell. But 2 or 3 times a week, you'll get a short read, 1 to 2 minutes, about some of my thoughts that might get implanted in your mind about changing the way you think about getting old. And about the next week or two, my book will be published, both in a hardcover and an ebook. And for everybody in my subscription list who subscribes to my newsletter, I'm going to send them a free copy of my book. So I hope you will subscribe. You got nothing to lose. And maybe we can start to have that conversation together about aging. My old friend Bill Zahner, who I rode motorcycles with for over 20 years, he passed on at 86. Still riding. Fortunately, he didn't pass away on the motorcycle. He passed away in the hospital after open heart surgery. But he used to say, getting old is kind of fun because you're doing a lot of things in your life. You're having a good time. He said, but being old really sucks. And he always add, unless you do it right. And he did it right, because he worked as a famous artist right up into his last days, pursuing his purpose in life. He had a following of people who gathered around him at art shows and were eager to hear his wisdom and stories. He was a raconteur. He was having fun at his age. And people were having fun around him. And I thought, that's the kind of guy I want to be as I grow older. And I'm grateful to him because he taught me how to do it, and I learned so much from him. So I want to pass on some things I've learned, because it makes me kind of sad to see how many people who are not aging well. I've seen people freaking out over their 40th birthday. It was as if they were approaching some landmark, the pinnacle of their life, where the rest of it was going to be downhill. And the culture didn't help, because the culture encourages that. They give us these crazy 40th birthday parties. Maybe you've had one. You get those over-the-hill birthday cards, black balloons, people making fun of you. Good-natured fun. But kind of deep down we know this is not what I want. But we laugh along with them. And then we start making fun of ourselves. Oh, I had a senior moment. We start making fun of our aches and pains, and we start acting old. You don't need to do that. Now, you may not want to ride a motorcycle at 81, and I can certainly understand that. But I'll bet you have some things that you want to do in your life that you've maybe held on to for most of your life, but you haven't done them yet. And there's a voice in you that says, yeah, I'd like to do that, but there's always that but. But I'm too old. I don't have enough time left. It's kind of like we missed the train. But we didn't miss the train. There's another one coming. Get on it. Do what you want to do. Modify it to accommodate your abilities at your age, just like I'm accommodating what I can do. At 81, I'm not going to ride a motorcycle at 150 miles an hour like I did that FJR. You might be able to see my speedometer right now. I'm riding at a reasonable speed. When I get out of traffic, I like to open this thing up a little bit, but I don't take it up to over 100 miles an hour like I used to. You got to negotiate with age, but strike a compromise. Well, you know, I thank you for listening this long. I want to invite you again to subscribe to my newsletter. You can get there by going to timeandculture.substack.com. That's Time and Culture. That's all one word. timeandculture.substack.com. Just sign up for my newsletter. It's free. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be sending you a free copy of my ebook. And my ebook is called Breaking Age, Observations of an Octogenarian. It's a collection of my thoughts. Some of them I've had while I've been riding this motorcycle. And I hope it might inject a few ideas into your conversation that could help you reframe aging. Thanks for listening. See you the next time.